On this week's Sarasota SpeaX Podcast, we have tech entrepreneur and real estate investor. I'm Donald Carlson, and this is the Sarasota SpeaX Podcast Pre-Show tailored by Tweeds. What's going on, Sarasota? I'm Donald Carlson, founder of Tweeds. If you're in the market for a custom suit, sport coat, tuxedo, whatever it might be, we'd love the opportunity to work with you. We have locations in Sarasota, St. Pete, and downtown Tampa. We'd love the opportunity to make you a custom suit. On this week's show, we have Jesse Biter, tech entrepreneur and real estate investor. Jesse, what can we expect to hear on this week's podcast?
Well, we're going to talk about my journey as an entrepreneur, my love for Sarasota, and just some of the things I learned along the way.
That's awesome. Back in 2010, you sold your first company, is it HomeNet Auto?
Yep.
Automotive to Auto Trader. Can you tell us a little bit about what led to that sale and how that happened?
Sure. I started my company in my parents' basement and built it up over a 15-year period. Never intended selling the company at all, but Auto Trader was my biggest customer, and one day they came knocking. It was actually a 3-year conversation, and finally I gave in and sold the company to them in 2010.
Wow, that's amazing. And what do you hope listeners can take from the show this week?
Honestly, just that, anyone can be an entrepreneur. If you put your heart and soul into it, look at yourself being successful and your 3 locations and growing. So it's just one of those things that if you're truly passionate about building a business, you can get in there, you can make it happen.
Well, you're a huge inspiration, so we appreciate that. That's a wrap for the Sarasota SpeaX Pre-Show tailored by Tweeds. Now let's take a look at what you might expect in this week's podcast.
So it's crazy you're talking about that because I honestly selfishly started my office downtown because I wanted to be downtown. I live east of the interstate, but it's not a long commute. But I was just talking about it with my director of operations. We should build like a little heat map of where we have our agents because it's amazing. A lot of these guys commute from Northport, Venice, Bradenton, all over, anywhere but around here. Mm-hmm. And so I'm realizing downtown may not be the most beneficial place for us. Let's look at other areas or whatnot, but I would much rather there be affordable housing and people want to move to this area because I love it downtown.
Absolutely.
So, it's cool that you're doing that, or you've spent some time doing that. What else have you done since you had that first exit? Like, is it been mainly commercial real estate, or It
started with commercial real estate. Dealers United started right up after, call it a year later, we launched Dealers United, my partner and I. So we got that going, but at the same time, I was probably spending as much time on real estate. Just I wanted to deploy capital. When you have a bunch of cash and you're spending it, it's just gone. Mm-hmm. But if you have a bunch of cash and you invest it into something that's going to pay you a return, then your capital's protected and now you have cash flow.
Right.
And you hear Mr. Wonderful talk about it all the time. It's not cash, it's cash flow. And that's it. Like, you want to make your cash work for you. So that was a full-time job, just going out, like, where do I put money so that it's working for me? So that took a lot of effort, a lot of thought. Have to give a shout out to Steve Horn at Ian Black. He busted his tail. He's like, you got money to spend, I'm going to help you spend it. And he gave me some great advice, and we bought some great buildings together and, owned everything under that Palm Avenue parking garage, bought the old Century Bank building, which is now Bold, where we host our co-work facility, and the Bold apartments. Got all the properties, a lot of properties on Main Street, bars and restaurants. And so those were thriving, and then COVID hit, and I'm like, great, I'm broke now. And then
cash flow.
Cash flow's gone. And then, we have to another shout out to our governor, who did a fantastic job during COVID and opened Florida right back up. And of course, everyone moved here, so it was great to be a Floridian and see, especially as a Florida property owner, to see the benefit we got there.